Islam is one of the world's major religions. It teaches that there is only one God, Allah. Muslims believe Allah is all-powerful and merciful. He is the creator and sustainer of the universe. Islam emphasizes peace, justice, and compassion. It is a religion of submission to the will of God. Muslims believe that God revealed his final message through the Prophet Muhammad. This message, Islam, is a completion of the messages revealed to previous prophets. These prophets include Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. Muslims respect all these prophets and their teachings. The Quran is the holy book of Islam. Muslims believe it contains the literal word of God. It guides Muslims on how to live a righteous life. The Quran's teachings cover faith, worship, ethics, and law. It provides a framework for all aspects of life. Today, Islam has over 1.8 billion followers worldwide. It is a diverse religion with followers from all races and cultures. Despite this diversity, Muslims are united by their faith. They share a common belief in God and the message of Prophet Muhammad.
Muhammad was born in Mecca in the year 570 CE. He is believed to be the final prophet of God in Islam. He received his first revelation at the age of 40. This marked the beginning of his prophetic mission. Muhammad preached the message of Islam for 23 years. He called people to worship one God and to live a life of righteousness. He faced opposition from those who rejected his message. Despite this, he remained steadfast in his mission. The Prophet's life is an example for Muslims to follow. He exemplified compassion, humility, and justice. His teachings continue to inspire millions around the world. Muhammad's message resonated with many. He established a community of believers in Medina. This community became the foundation of the Islamic faith.
The 5 pillars of Islam are the core beliefs and practices of Muslims. They form the foundation of Islamic life. These pillars are faith, prayer, charity, fasting, and pilgrimage. Faith, or belief in one God, is the most important pillar. It is the basis for all other Islamic beliefs and practices. Muslims believe in the oneness of God and the prophethood of Muhammad. Prayer is the second pillar of Islam. Muslims perform 5 daily prayers at specific times. These prayers connect them with God and provide spiritual nourishment. They consist of specific movements and recitations from the Quran. Charity, or zakat, is the third pillar. It requires Muslims to give a portion of their wealth to the poor and needy. Zakat purifies wealth and promotes social justice. It reminds Muslims of their responsibility towards others. Fasting during the month of Ramadan is the fourth pillar. Muslims abstain from food and drink from dawn till sunset. This practice fosters self-discipline and empathy for the less fortunate. It is a time for spiritual reflection and renewal.
Prayer in Islam is more than just a ritual. It is a direct and personal connection with God. 5 times a day, Muslims turn towards Mecca, the holiest city in Islam. They offer their prayers in a state of humility and submission. The call to prayer, the Adhan, echoes through Muslim communities worldwide. It is a reminder of the importance of prayer in daily life. Muslims answer this call, leaving behind their worldly affairs for a moment of communion with God. The act of prayer involves a series of physical postures and recitations. Each movement has a spiritual significance. It helps to focus the mind and heart on the divine. Prayer provides solace and comfort in times of difficulty. Through prayer, Muslims seek guidance, forgiveness, and peace. It is a conversation with the Creator, a time to express gratitude and seek His blessings. The regularity of prayer instills discipline and strengthens faith.
Section 5. Fasting, purification of the soul. Fasting during the month of Ramadan is a pillar of Islam. It is a time of spiritual reflection, self-improvement, and increased devotion to God.
During this month, Muslims abstain from food and drink from dawn until dusk. Fasting is not just about physical deprivation. It is about purifying the soul and developing empathy for the less fortunate.
By experiencing hunger and thirst, Muslims gain a deeper understanding of the struggles of the poor. Ramadan is also a time for increased charity and acts of kindness. Muslims are encouraged to share their blessings with others and to strengthen their bonds of community.
The breaking of the fast at sunset is a time for celebration and togetherness. The month of Ramadan culminates in Eid al-Fitr, a joyous celebration marking the end of the fasting period. Muslims celebrate with prayers, family gatherings, and acts of charity.
Fasting during Ramadan is a transformative experience. It teaches self-control, gratitude, and compassion. Section 6, Zakat, sharing and caring. Zakat is the third pillar of Islam and is often translated as charity or almsgiving. It is a mandatory act of worship that requires Muslims to give a portion of their wealth to those in need.
Zakat is not just about giving money, it is about purifying one's wealth and recognizing that everything belongs to God. The Quran emphasizes the importance of zakat for both the giver and the receiver.
For the giver, zakat cultivates generosity, compassion, and gratitude. It reminds them that their wealth is a blessing from God. For the receiver, zakat provides financial assistance and a sense of dignity. It helps to alleviate poverty and promote social justice.
Zakat is calculated as a percentage of one's wealth and is typically given annually. The funds collected are distributed to various categories of people in need, including the poor, the needy, and orphans.
By fulfilling the obligation of zakat, Muslims contribute to the well-being of their communities and create a more just and equitable society. Section 7. Hajj, a journey of a lifetime. Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca, is the fifth pillar of Islam. It is a journey that every able-bodied Muslim who can afford it is obligated to undertake once in their lifetime. The Hajj takes place during the last month of the Islamic lunar calendar and involves a series of rituals and acts of worship. Muslims from all over the world gather in Mecca for Hajj, dressed in simple white garments. This symbolizes the equality of all people before God. The rituals of Hajj commemorate the trials and triumphs of Prophet Abraham and his family. The most important ritual of Hajj is the circumambulation of the Kaaba, a cube-shaped structure located in the heart of the Grand Mosque in Mecca. Muslims circle the Kaaba 7 times, praying and seeking forgiveness. Hajj is a transformative experience that brings Muslims closer to God and to one another. It is a journey of spiritual reflection, physical endurance, and profound humility. The shared experience of Hajj fosters a sense of unity and brotherhood among Muslims from all walks of life. Section 8. Inner peace through submission. Islam teaches that true peace comes from submission to the will of God. The word Islam itself means submission or surrender.
This submission is not forced. It is a conscious choice made out of love and devotion to the Creator. When Muslims submit to God's will, they find peace in knowing that they are not alone in their struggles. They trust in God's plan and find solace in His infinite wisdom and mercy. This submission brings a sense of tranquility and contentment.
The 5 pillars of Islam, along with the moral and ethical guidelines outlined in the Quran and the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, provide a framework for living a balanced and meaningful life. By adhering to these principles, Muslims strive to purify their hearts and minds, fostering inner peace.
Islam teaches that true happiness is not found in material possessions or worldly success, but in seeking God's pleasure and living a life of purpose. By focusing on their relationship with God and their responsibility to others, Muslims find inner peace and fulfillment.
Section 9. The universality of Islam's message. Islam's message is universal, transcending time, culture, and geography.
At its core, Islam emphasizes the oneness of God, the importance of living a righteous life, and the belief in an afterlife where we will be held accountable for our actions. These principles resonate with people from all walks of life, regardless of their background or beliefs.
The Quran states that God sent prophets to all nations, bearing the same fundamental message of belief in one God and the importance of living a moral and ethical life.
Islam recognizes the shared heritage of Abrahamic faiths, including Judaism and Christianity, and acknowledges the prophets and messengers of those traditions. Islam teaches that all human beings are equal in the sight of God, and that our diversity is a sign of His boundless creation. It encourages respect for other religions and cultures, promoting tolerance and understanding.
Section 10. Islam, a religion of peace. The word Islam is often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's world. It is important to remember that Islam at its core is a religion of peace.
The Arabic word Islam itself is derived from the word salam, which means peace. The Quran explicitly condemns violence and terrorism, stating that killing an innocent person is like killing all of humanity. Islam teaches that peace is the natural state of being, and that violence is only permissible in self-defense or to protect the oppressed.
The Prophet Muhammad himself was a man of peace who always advocated for diplomacy and reconciliation. He taught his followers to treat others with kindness, compassion and respect, regardless of their faith or beliefs. Section 11. A Journey of Discovery. Discovering Islam is a personal journey. It is an invitation to explore the depths of this faith and to understand its true message.
This journey begins with an open mind and a willingness to learn. It involves engaging with the Quran, the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, and the rich history and culture of Islam. There are many resources available to those who are interested in learning more about Islam. Mosques and Islamic centers offer classes and educational programs. Books, articles, and online resources provide a wealth of information.
Remember, the best way to understand any faith is through direct engagement with its followers and their lived experiences.
Engage in respectful conversations with Muslims, ask questions, and seek to understand their perspectives. By approaching Islam with an open mind and a sincere desire to learn, one can discover the beauty, wisdom, and peace that it offers.